Good morning, it's Grace Power, and I just am coming to the end of Stellar's Challenge A year. He's got 2 more Tuesdays left. So we are in the final little run. And I just wanted to be a resource if you have questions about this program or if you need support. The more that I've gone through it, the more of a fan I am of the Classical Conversations product, I guess you could say. But he really enjoyed this year. There ended up being 8 students, I believe, in his class, about half boys, half girls. So that was nice, and they all really gelled, especially towards the end of the year. Now they're all excited for their final day. As soon as they're done with their Blue Book test, they're going to go to Sky Zone and just kind of finish out the year having fun at Sky Zone. But one thing he's been preparing for the Blue Book test is drawing the world. So that's been the cartography program or lesson that he's been going through. So every few weeks he was doing in a different continent, practicing drawing the full continent and labeling countries and capitals. And at this point they've gone through all the continents in the whole world, and now they're practicing drawing the whole world. This is just him practicing. So this was tracing and labeling all of the ones that he was going through, and then when they do their test, they are going to do it on a bigger poster board and freehand it. They can't trace, and then they'll label as much of the countries and areas and capitals and lakes and rivers and oceans or whatever they can remember from all of their studying throughout the whole year. And it did kind of play on what they already have gone through in foundations, because they did a lot of geography going up through foundations with their memory work and things like that. But this was definitely taking it to the next level, and just even more information and more countries. And so he's been enjoying that, and I'm excited to see how he does on the final day, the final test. We've been enjoying the thesis program, the Lost Tools of Writing. Next year we will be revisiting that, but just having different content. So different books that we'll be reading next year. The first one is The Phantom Tollbooth. So we're actually going to read that this summer, and then starting day 1 of Challenge B, they will start into preparing for their first paper on that book. And using the same program. So that's what's kind of I'm loving about Classical Conversations. It's the same thing with Essentials. When we went through, it's 3 years, so every year it's like the same. You're going through the same material, so you're really diving deeper and memorizing more. But there's a different. Well, at least in Essentials, there was a different topic every year. So it was ancient history, U.S. history, and medieval history. So that just gave a different vibe to it, but it was the same charts and the same writing exercises and all of that. So I believe that's kind of how Lost Tools of Writing will be used for Challenge B and possibly for Challenge 1. I haven't got that far yet, but I think it might be 3 years. I'm not sure. That now the one thing that they are upgrading this year is the Analogies program. They have a Classical Conversations came out with their own Analogies books and program. I'm sure it's very similar. Like this year we did the Analogies for the first semester, and then Fallacy Detective for the second semester. And looking through his Challenge B book, I just kind of was briefly looking through it. I actually have it. Let me show that to you, because this was his favorite strand of the whole thing, and he is super, just, I love it. He's using it all the time in like real life conversations and stuff like that. So I wonder if I can turn my screen around. Does it let me do it? I don't know how to do it, so maybe I'll just show you like this. So I kind of like that there was like some color to this book and some pictures, and so just to kind of give you guys a glimpse of that. So this is what he'll be using for Challenge B. And I think that the one for Challenge A that they've just came out with is similar, but it's just going to be maybe the first one of this. So anyways, you can find that on the CC. It's better if you go through CC Connected, I believe, log into your account and then go to the store. Just because if you're already in the program, you do usually get discounts on the bookstore. So just make sure you log in that way so you get your percentages off. And if I do know, like if you are wanting to do Classical Conversations next year and you register early, I think you've already missed the deadline for the $30 coupon, but you get a $20 coupon, I believe, if you register. I forget what the date is. And then there's like a closer date that you'll get a $10 coupon. So the sooner you get in, the bigger bonus you get. And in Florida, there is a scholarship program called Step Up that we used last year, and that covered all the materials, all the costs of his program, plus extra things like any materials that you get to use in your homeschool. Can even cover sports and like he's in orchestra, so any costs related to orchestra. So look into that if you're in Florida. I'm not sure about the other states, but that will help with the costs. And a lot of people are qualified for it. So, and I know that with Stellar, he had like a little over $7,000 scholarship that he's been able to use. So that's a really huge incentive to homeschool. And I think that I'll just say that for now. I don't want to make the video too long, but just loving Challenge A, loved it. I would love to go through it again, but I love that Challenge B is kind of like an extension, so very similar, but just going into the next level, 8th grade. And I'll be doing more updates as we go along. Thanks.